They have not moved off assets and liabilities.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of key lessons in watching what people do. They could have had 94 other sayings, right? We could have put some yes in chat. No, keep one SKU, make sure it sells, take it off to the moon. So less is more when it comes to trading. So
and mastering each thing. Because when you master it and you understand everything in depth, that's what it is.
So you said you study those three, but are there any others that people should be paying attention to as well?
Well, people, of course, trade the Canadian dollar. So a lot of people trade USD CAD. A lot of Chef Francs. I don't trade Chef Francs at all. Okay.
That's the
It's super slow.
Yeah.
AUD, USD.
Swiss franc,
Swiss franc.
Yeah, it's
and
slower.
then you have the Australian dollar. All right. So these are just like major currencies. I don't trade AUD, USD at all either. Now, I have a lot of students that trade everything in regards to, well, not everything in regards to a lot of different countries, but I just mean countries that are different from mine. Right. So they tap into those different economies. It's really just a structure. Just like you guys see, how do you research a company? Marking up your charts and really understanding economies are pretty much the same thing.
In the same way you have the top 5 companies, you have top 5 pairs, which is just really top 5 economies. So here, Britain, Australia, right? There's only Japanese market. There's only a few you can trade. So there are more they can trade, but it's not worth it because the liquidity is low. It's like trading an ETF that's like 35th best.
Right.
It's like you can trade it, but you get more bang for your buck trading,
It's not at the rate it's going to grow and appreciate. It's going to be so slow.
It's not worth it.
Right. And then you do have exotics, like you have, the Mexican peso, different things like that. I don't trade them just because I don't have to. Like, we make money from the stuff that we know the most.
Unless Trump gets elected again, because that night the peso dropped crazy. Yeah. Other than that, don't touch it. It's a good volatility trade, but outside of that,
like people trade the Turkish lira, all these exotic pairs that you have them, but I would say stick with the major currencies because they're more like you can predict the price. Right now, of course, you don't execute until you have your confirmations, but you can predict the price. I really believe that like all fundamentals line up with your technicals, but technicals give you insight to what's about to happen fundamentally.
Absolutely.
You don't know exactly what's going to happen that's going to cause price to shift the way it's shifting. But if you come to like, let's say a monthly or a weekly level of heavy support and resistance, and the market's about to drop right here, we don't know what's about to we don't know what's about to happen in the economy to make the drop it.
Yeah. Something's coming.
Yeah. But something is coming.
Yeah. So those lower highs, lower lows.
Yep.
Got you.
Yep. And then it's just data added on top of each other. Back to back.
So trading the British pounds like wearing Nikes, like trading the Turkish lira like wearing like Pro-Cats.
Never mind.
Like you don't. Stay with the top ones that they're going to move the market.
Yeah. Jess, you said that the non-foreign payroll. And so when you look at this data, what are the indicators that you're looking at to say, all right, this is a sign?
Job statistics.
Okay. How many jobs have been created?
Yeah. How many have we how many have we added into the job market? So like, let's say, you're expecting the number to be, 700 and it comes in at 500, right? That's going to cause the US dollar to drop significantly because we now have 500 less jobs that were added that we expected to be in. You know what I'm saying? So it's like all of it's not just price moving esoterically. It's actual fundamental data that aligns to tell us why price is moving. And there's a big difference between trading and gambling. You always need to understand your positions and why you're in your positions. Gambling, I think a lot of people just chase money. They just take positions, chase it. They're chasing the market. You never want to chase the market. Trading is based off of actual thesis that are aligned to tell you, okay, this is going to happen because of this. And when this happens, I'm going to react to it in this way.
So, Ian, let's talk about some stocks. Square, last week, hit rock bottom. I think it got as low as $82, I believe. But this week, it hit 25-ish, 125-ish. So that's like
126, 127 right now.
Yeah. So, looking at like a $45 increase. Yeah. That's like a 50%. That was like 50% jump, pretty much, from its low of
nice
80 in the last. So, what happened with Square to jump that quick?
I mean, once certain companies of value hit so low, it's like if you sold these beautiful sweatshirts for $15. It's like you have some deals that are so good you cannot deny. Most people are waiting and buying 5% off the high. And I've told you guys before, wait till 45%, 43% off the high. You'll be good. I know some of you were killing me like, man, the crystal ball broken and Square cracked it, right? They're going to be good. Jack hasn't even announced his plans for the team. So even with Peloton, they have a new CEO. Love his vision. Jack hasn't even announced what his plan is with the new team yet. Of how to. Mike's happy about that. You're happy about that. So when they announce that, they'll be fine. But do you think a payment processor like Square is really going to fall through the floor and get back to $45? No. It's just that so much was happening in the world. Hedge funds was letting off their positions. Family offices, fund of funds, and then retail traders came in after that, and everything started to fall apart. But they're going to make a nice bounce. And I know some people are going to ask about the Russia trade. If you're going to swing RSX, you're going to have to hold it for 4 years. Like, Russia could collapse. Do not touch that trade. It is not worth it. There's other things you can buy. Square would definitely go back. And it should hit 180.67 in maybe 4 months. So you'll be good. You'll be good.
Yeah, I think they reported their earnings and outperformed. And then they got upgraded to outperform by a few analysts. So those type of reports always help. Even if somebody didn't know all the technicals, when they see firms saying, outperform, it's like, okay, I guess it's safe to go back now.
It's a good time.
Right.
And then when those companies start to fall, so like when you have that have not hit new highs in 5 or 6 months, that is also telling you that the market is starting to taper off too. Don't look at the top. So if you look through 25 through 50 and they haven't hit new highs in like 2 or 3 months, that is a sign that the market is going to taper down as well.
Yeah. There was also another position, maybe like in the beginning of January when we saw NASDAQ pulled back and we were like, look at Microsoft sitting at 277. We got to grab it. And I said, I'm going to grab some shares here. It happened again. It happened again last week. So it was like, these things are happening, and we're telling you, like, if it gets to these numbers,
at 296 now.
Execute.
Slow Microsoft is executed.
Executed. That's a $20 swing on just information. If it gets to this number, grab it. And so, we're only saying it because we're actually doing it.
Yeah.
Now, if you choose to, that's up to you. But these are great entry points to have a company that we firmly believe in is going to be here for a long time. And it's in the top 5 as far as market cap. Yeah. And we spoke about it last year as our stock of the year. When it hits these points, we got to make sure that we're ready to execute.
If you're thinking, how often do you guys think about like, okay, what is the business going to do over the next 2 days? Like, you guys are always thinking long term. Y'all 2-3 years feel like 10 for most people. Continue to think and buy for the long term. You see Shoddy face? And every business is the same. Forex, futures, crypto. You can see crypto slid down. All markets are tied together. If you hold for the long term, you'll be good. Stop worrying. Like, Russia doesn't matter. Everyone cared about inflation 2 and 3 weeks ago. No one cared. Trump election versus Biden, they cared about that. It doesn't matter anymore. Rotation was a big thing a year ago. None of that shit matters.
Transitory was the word of
holding for 5 years is what matters.
My graduates from my school being Forbes, bag drop.
Bag drop.
A mic drop, bag drop.
Bag drop.